Success is something found throughout the Bismarck High wrestling program. They have won 6 of the last 7 Class A state titles in the state of North Dakota. And over the last few years, those teams have been led by standouts Wilfried and Christian Tanefeu. But the journey to the mat has been a winding road for these twins from Cameroon. Wilfried and Christian's family immigrated to the United States 6 years ago, making their way to North Dakota's capital city. It was an adjustment that left the two grappling with how to handle the change.
I remember I first got here, I was kind of like just staying to myself, keeping to myself. I didn't want to draw too much attention, just kind of doing what I need to do, like get good grades, go to college.
It was a new place, we didn't really know anyone. And the one thing I mostly wanted to avoid was like bad crowds. Because I know in my country, like the people who you hang out with is like who decide like how you become. So I wanted to make sure I hang out with the right crowd. And I didn't really know anyone, so the best choice was to stay to ourselves.
I remember it was my 8th grade year. One of my teachers asked me if I wanted to try wrestling. So I thought about it a little bit, went home. We didn't know what it was really, so we looked it up and we saw WWE.
We were laughing. I was like, "You're gonna do that?" And I was just making fun of him and stuff, teasing him. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try it, like, why not?"
When he came into the program, he was real raw. The first real year into wrestling. He did wrestle 8th grade wrestling, but really came into our program. Didn't know much about it. Wasn't real successful right away.
It's not an easy sport where you can just come in and think you're going to be the best. It was definitely hard. And I remember one time it got to a point where it was like, wow, I don't know if I can do this.
But one day at practice freshman year, Willie noticed on the back of a coach's shirt the phrase, "Those that stay will be champions." He put that shirt up on a wall in his room, and that became his motivation.
My freshman year, I didn't get the success I wanted, but I was like, by the end of my senior, I want to be like that guy on the team. I want to be like the captain. I want to be able to win tournaments and help people get better on the mat.
Determined to find someone to push him to that next level, Willie began to recruit, and he didn't have to go far to do it.
Going to high school freshman year, some coaches talked to me about like try looking into it. I'm like, no, I'll just try basketball. I played basketball for a little bit, and then meanwhile, Wilfried was having fun. He was coming back from like traveling from like other places for the tournament. He was saying it was fun, all this stuff, and I was just like staying home and just like doing nothing. So I was like, you know what, I might try it.
I kind of talked to him, but I was like, hey, I'm doing this. You can do it too. It's awesome.
We do wrestling. We travel in the summer. And it's just a bunch of adventures, meet new people, and just family atmosphere. Everything's just great. I'm like, why did I not know this before? Like, I missed out.
After some convincing, Christian decided to team up with his brother, officially joining the wrestling team at the tail end of their freshman year. And even though the season had just ended, the work was just beginning for the Tanefeu twins.
I mean, Willie and Christian both have a huge amount of athletic ability, but they also have a lot of hard work that's involved to do all that stuff. So when the wrestling season was over, they were still coming in for 2 hours a day, and that went on for 4 months.
We would go in the room like just us, sometimes like after school, before school and stuff like that. He would beat me up a lot. Basically how I learned to get better is like not take those losses. Just try to get better like 1% every day, just slow continuous progress.
I kept telling him, if I can do it, you can definitely do it too. Like, what's the difference between you and me?
After putting in countless hours of practice against one another, it was time for Christian to make his debut in a local tournament. His first competitor.
Funny story, my first match was actually wrestling him. I was still like spazzed, like, because first time competing, I wasn't even sure what to do. I was just standing there trying to hold him, just not letting him do his thing. It was crazy, but he ended up beating me.
But Christian kept working hard with the help of Willie, and he progressed quickly.
Unlike some other athletes where they just themselves, like sometimes they're not feeling great, they don't have anybody else to motivate them. For us, we got each other, so if I'm not feeling good during warm-ups, he push you 110%. That's why I feel like our relationship works pretty good.
They ultimately pushed each other to state titles in their respective weight classes in their sophomore season. That summer, momentum continued 200 miles east at the 2019 USA Junior and Cadet National Championships in Fargo.
When you go out to Fargo, this is a national event. You have about every Division I coach in the country out in Fargo looking at possible recruits. Everybody keeps their eyes out there, and then all of a sudden, they're winning the quarterfinals, then they're winning the semifinals, they're getting into the finals.
And eventually walking away with the ultimate prize.
Christian Tanefeu gets his crown, and Greco, his brother, Will, won it in freestyle. How about that?
All the while, coaches were taking notice, including the program the twins already had their eyes on.
Before wrestling was even in the picture, Michigan really was at the top of my list. That was my dream school, so
we were talking about it, was like, whoa, dude, Michigan's there. Like, look at all these things we have in common. They had like students from all over the world. I was like, you know, me being an immigrant is like, I just got people like just the same as me. So we're like, you know what, let's go decide to go to the same college.
After securing back-to-back state titles as juniors, the offer to be a Michigan Wolverine soon followed. And unlike the work it took for these two to get to this moment, the decision was an easy one.
It makes it all the better. It's almost like cherry on top. It's awesome. We keep pushing each other to the next level too, so it's really awesome.
I'm unbelievably humbled. It's amazing. Like, it's still hitting me. It's incredible. I'm really happy.
We get to ride the wave with them. You know what I mean? We're so overjoyed by them.
The challenge of wrestling in the Big Ten is certainly daunting, but if history has proven anything about the Tanefeu twins, they'll be ready for it.
And sometimes it's kind of like reality check, you know, like, hey, I'm here. I started here and I'm here. Just kind of looking back on it and seeing the things I did, the work I put in, and some of the stuff that I've been putting in and how it's paid off. It's really nice.
Wrestling was like you said, it really changed our lives. From where we started to like all these things that's happening, it's honestly incredible. I still can't believe it. It's still hitting me. It's amazing.
Both Willie and Christian will look to end their Demons careers with their third consecutive state titles this postseason, but they still say there are plenty of mountains left to climb as they head to the University of Michigan. One of those would be qualifying for the Olympics. Michigan already has 2 wrestlers on their team that have qualified for the Olympics for different countries, and the twins hope to follow suit. And as for that first wrestling match between Christian and Willie, the one that did not go Christian's way, well, they've wrestled each other 3 times in their high school careers. Willie has won 2 of those 3, but Christian made sure to tell us that his win was the only one by a pin.